Hey guys, Stephen here, and I'm bringing you a look at my Perfume Parlour oil and spray collection. So I've got about 20 in front of me here, and I'll run down each of them and tell you whether I think it's good or bad. I'll be honest, not all of them are very good. Some of the sprays I have here are very terrible. So I'll give you my thoughts on it. So yeah, here's Fahrenheit first of all. So this was one of the first ones I bought from Perfume Parlour, and I'm a big fan of Fahrenheit. It's one of my favourite designer scents. So I set out to get a cheap imitation of it, and I came across this brand. And when I bought this, I was quite blown away. This copy right here is very good. I find it has that strong petroleum, kind of gasoline, burnt, that whole nature at the start. And then it has amazing longevity too. Some of these oils are hit or miss when it comes to longevity, like they don't last for the longest. So when I talk about performance, I'm going to try and not actually give numbers, because I don't want to say this lasts this many hours, because personally, yeah, any of these oils can fluctuate in longevity from maybe like, a 4-hour span. So it's all very dependent on the weather conditions, how hot your body is, and several other factors, as well as the fragrance itself. But I'll try and give rough guidelines. So with this, I think I get like 12 hours. My general test for oils is I basically put them on around this time, which is close to 12 o'clock. I then go to bed, and if I can notice the smell when I wake up maybe 8 hours later, then I know that the oil has good longevity, because if I'm in bed with the oil on my arm and I'm rolling about in the sheets as I sleep, then the oil's going to be spreading on my quilt and whatnot. So if it can survive the night like that, then it's got good longevity. So yeah, this has really good smell, really good longevity, and to me it's very accurate to Fahrenheit as I know it. I smelled an older vintage Fahrenheit, and it does have a similar smell to this, so well worth checking out. I'll go on to a spray now. So this is the Dreamer. Well, I actually may as well do these. So here we have Antaeus by Chanel, Givenchy Pi, or P, Duro by Nasamato, and the Dreamer by Versace. So I bought all these 4 together, and I don't know, man, they're off, something's up with them. They just don't smell anywhere near what I think they should do. Probably Duro's the closest out of them. But for example, I've just tried Antaeus now, and I've had the same experience with that the entire time. It just has this very soapy nature. It's nowhere near close to the scent, absolutely nowhere near. And these others are kind of bad too. I think I must have had a bad batch. I should have complained and notified Perfume Parlour, but I didn't. But yeah, like you can tell, I've tried Antaeus a bit, hoping that somehow with age it's improved, but it's terrible every time. Like I sprayed some on my arm like 10 minutes ago, and it's awful. Strangely though, in the same purchase, I also bought Kouros, and I just tested this one now as well. I sprayed it on the back of my hand, and again it has this very like soapy, sweet opening, which is just totally wrong, even compared to vintage formulations. But now smelling it sort of 5 or 10 minutes later, the smell has gone a bit more coriander like. That classical Kouros thing is there, but there's still this really weird sweetness in the background. Like, it's kind of right, but it's also not. So that's a bit of an unfortunate purchase. I'll also note I've kind of stopped buying these, because I think I'd rather just buy the actual fragrances when it comes to the sprays at least. But there's 2 that's perhaps an exception to that, so I'll try and cover these together. That's Dior Homme and Black Afghanon spray. So again, this one has a very strange opening. Like, it smells similar to anise or anise seed. Similarly to how the Kouros opens up kind of peculiarly. But then this one does transform then, and kind of the hash nature comes through. The hash in this one is very strong actually as well, and it's got really good longevity. I sprayed some on, and basically the fragrance lasted on my skin for 12 hours probably, which was amazing. And also here, Dior Homme Intense. This one I find is very, very close to the original. Like, it's very close. I do find the scent a bit too feminine for me. It's really nice, but I don't really think it's something I wear. Like, I've kind of sprayed it up to go to work a few times, but you know, I've kind of mainly tested this as opposed to actually wearing it, but it's got really good strength. It seems to have decent projection for a few hours, and the longevity is really good, and the scent similarity is really high, like 95% close from what I can tell. I've tested DHI a few times in boots and whatnot, so I'm quite familiar with it. And when I wear that, you know, it does instantly capture that scent memory, if you will. Okay, so I couldn't see what this actually is because it's smudged, but smelling it from the cap is obvious. That's Aventus. So this is a really good copy. It's the 3mm roll-on oil. However, what is it? I don't know if you can see here, but the actual roller, it doesn't protrude from the bottle very much. When you actually apply this, it's pretty much like you rubbing the top here just against your skin. So you just rub plastic against your skin. I mean, if you compare this to an older one, like the older ones here, the plastic came out a lot more, so there was more of the roller ball coming in contact with your skin. And I did get in touch with Perfume Parlour about this, and I said, look, the 3mm roll-on oils are kind of shit because you can't really apply much. And they have told me that they've improved the bottles, but I haven't made a purchase from them since. Anyway, yeah, so Aventus, the smell similarity in this one is very high. It's really strong. I find I apply it probably in excess. Like, I've not owned this for long, but I've used a little bit. But yeah, it's really close to the smell, and I'm blown away by that, to be honest. But yeah, good longevity, very good similar smell. Yep, it's a bargain. So this is an older one that I purchased. This is GIT Green Island Tweed. So yeah, this is a really good copy, you know. I actually went out to the pub a while ago and I have like a 5mm decant of GIT, which is actually going down very fast. And I went to a pub for a few drinks with some friends, and I actually put this on my arms, a few sprays of actual Creed to my neck, and I was kind of sitting outside with my mates and I could just smell myself projecting heavily, and I'm sure the oil was contributing heavily towards this. So yeah, again, good longevity in this one, really accurate smell too, and yeah, overall I must say the oils are better than the sprays in my opinion. So this one's been discussed online quite a few times. It's Neroli Portofino by Tom Ford. This is probably the fragrance or the scent that's got me the most attention overall. When these arrived in the morning, I took some to work and I put this on my arms like in the afternoon. You know, I kind of just swiped a few swipes down both arms, rubbed them together and walked about. And then I went to make a cup of coffee, and literally about 5 people said to me, bloody hell, what's that smell, you know? Everyone says it's really strong. And yeah, it's got a really nice smell of orange, neroli, basically jasmine's in there as well. One of my colleagues, he noticed jasmine, like, quite interesting. So yeah, this is an absolutely beautiful summer smell. The longevity kills the original one. Like, I've never smelled the original one, but it's famed for having like a couple of hours worth of longevity, but this lasts a good time. The smell is really nice as well. I mean, it's hard to kind of judge quality with these oils. Like, the oils are all good. I haven't actually found one that smells bad by any means. But it's just really hard to actually kind of make quality, like, you know, proper non-subjective quality claims on them. Right, so fellow YouTube British reviewer Gaz, he recommended that I check out the Dior Privé line that they do. So where's my other one? So here's Oud Ispahan and Leather Oud. Leather Oud's 10mm and I've used quite a bit. This is unbelievable. Such a good fragrance. Like, the civet note is really strong there. I find there's a strong animalistic nuance to it. I find when you rub the oils together on your skin, it kind of really brings out the base notes heavily, so the leather, the oud is very all just kind of combined in a very sublime way. And I find with the Oud Ispahan one that it's a very strong rose scent as well, but the oud is just kind of blended very nice in the background. The oud doesn't seem as kind of harsh or loud as a leather oud, but it's just very subtle and just like a very, very nice smell overall. So these again were two great purchases. So a great spray I bought was Lolita Lempica. Yeah, Lempica as they say. So kind of notes of anise, vanilla I think as well, I can't remember. But I remember being very impressed with this when I first bought it. To be honest, I haven't really worn it much, but it's a nice smell, you know, I can't really knock it. Can't comment too much on longevity as well, but you know, it's not a bad one. I also bought Bentley Intense, which has a very strong rum and boozy note to it. It's quite nice, but again, I think I was kind of buying fragrances all the time when kind of, you know, autumn came around last year. So I wasn't really looking at wearing my current collection, just focus on buying more scents. But yeah, it's quite strong. I mean, it seems to have decent projection. It's hard to judge, you know, the sprays, they have good kind of projection definitely compared to the oils, but then it is hard to put kind of like numbers on how far and the sillage on the oils. I find like when you apply it to your arms, you know, if you're wearing a t-shirt, then as you're walking about, then you do create a strong smell for a while. Like I definitely had that experience with the Neroli Portofino, so you know, they do work and people will notice you for sure. Depends if you wait a lot like I do. So a recent oil I bought was Pardon by Nasamato. This has quite a oudy smell to it. Like even smelling from the cap here. It's kind of like an Al Rehab fragrance, if you will. It's not bad, I quite like it, but I haven't really worn it that much. I think it's some woods and oud, but I can't really remember the note in that one, but it is good. I also bought Kouros as an oil when I bought the spray, and the oil version is much better, so it didn't have any batch issues there. It's definitely got that older Kouros smell, much different to the current formulation. But this is 6ml, and look here, you just you know, the roller ball is barely sticking out of the top, so it's just rubbish to apply. You basically roll it on your skin for like a minute and no liquid comes out. So I bought La Nuit Frozen and La Nuit Intense. Haven't really worn these much, to be honest. Yeah, can't really comment much on them. They smell decent, you know, can't really knock them. They smell nice, but I haven't really found an occasion to go wear them. This is the biggest one I own here, is Back to Black by Killian. So this is a 50ml, and I think it was like £13 perhaps. And yeah, compared to the other sprays, this is really good. I actually just sprayed some on my hand, and you get that honey and the tobacco note, and it's quite loud and just smells really good. The longevity seems okay. The longevity is definitely less in the sprays as opposed to the oils, but you then get a bit more projection overall. I showed you this. Yeah, so Black Afghano. So I bought this recently, but one of my first purchases was the Black Afghano oil. So yeah, you can see here the colour differences, and I think if you buy the oil nowadays, it will come black like this. But yeah, this oil, when I first smelled it, I was absolutely blown away. Like, I never smelled the original, I didn't know what to expect. But just the overall easternness of it, just really kind of right. I just loved it at first smell. So yeah, I'm not sure how the oil will smell now. I think the hash in this is less pronounced than in the recent one. Because interestingly, I saw Perfume Precious Pearls mentioned they got a different hash note. And I think probably Perfume Parlour using the same thing now, because they are quite different. Like this seems more oudie and woody, whereas this is kind of more hash smelling like. But yeah, I'm absolutely a fan of both of these. So Roger Doves, Roger Doves UAE, and I kind of thought this would got a light, sweet, kind of rosy scent when I first dabbed it on. Smelling it from the bottle, you would think that. The oud is a bit, I don't know, compare the oud in this to say Black Afghano, it's a bit sort of screechier. That's the only way I can kind of think it. It's not smoother, it's kind of a bit, yeah, screechy. I don't know, that's not a bad thing, it's just a different take on it. And I thought, oh yeah, that's cool. But then one time I properly tried it and I, applied some on my skin properly, rubbed my skin together, and holy crap, it was a completely different experience. There was such a strong like civet note in the background, like a real animalistic character to this fragrance. And I was a bit taken aback because, when I first tested it with a little dab, it didn't smell like that at all. So then I looked at the notes and yeah, civet's a highly listed note in here, and it's a very strong and pungent smell, actually musky and just really nice. I do enjoy this a lot. I also have Duro as a oil because I'd bought the spray. I thought I'd try the oil. And yeah, the oil is much better. It's got a kind of leather or suede accord, almost like upholstery, I've said before. And yeah, it's got decent longevity too. I have Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford. So yeah, again, this one really blew me away. When I first put it on, I didn't find the raspberry note very prominent. It comes in after about like 20 minutes. But it's a really nice fragrance in my opinion. It's got amazing longevity. This one has like 24 hours lasting power on me. I wear this in combination with Arab Tradition by Nabil, which is it's an EDP Tuscan leather cologne, and together they work so well. Here's Silver Mountain Water by Tweed. So yeah, this is very similar to Sultan by Al Rehab. Is it Sultan? I think so. And yeah, it's okay, like, it's not really my type of scent to be honest. I think it's alright, but I haven't really worn it much to comment. Yeah, I've kind of tested it a few times, but not really worn it that often. I think to me it reminds me of a Fox's Glacia Mint, which is a sweet available here in the UK. And it's quite similar to that. And I have the one by D&G. So I haven't really worn this, but my friend owns the bottle, and over at his house I done a side-by-side comparison, and this one is kind of spot on in terms of how it smells. It matched the development of the scent as well, but to be honest I'm not really too fussed on it. Kind of amber heavy, not that I don't like amber, but the fragrance is just not really for me. So I'm looking at my fragrances here and I think that pretty much covers them. Yeah, that's it guys, I haven't really left any out now, so that's my overall take. For the price you pay in, you can't really go wrong with the oils for sure. I think the sprays are a bit of a gamble in comparison, but there are some good ones out there. Some are better than others. I haven't smelled all the originals of these to compare them to say if they are, entirely accurate, but I find it a good way to sample scents if you can't maybe find samples of like niche brands. At least with this you can kind of smell it and get an overall feel of what the fragrance should roughly smell like. So then when you do buy the actual one, you'll know then if it's going to be the type of scent that you like. So thanks for watching this video guys. Sorry if it's gone a bit too long, I can't really see the runtime right now. But yeah, take care and until the next one, all the best.